Hey guys, so it is Saturday, November 30th, 2024, and I just got home from Emerge about 4 hours ago. Now, the reason why I went to Emerge was the most bizarre thing ever. I was at home this morning, and I was just sitting on my bed doing literally nothing, just sitting there thinking, and then all of a sudden, I'm sitting there and then all of a sudden I grab my elbow and I'm like this and I'm almost screaming because it just starts hurting so bad. It felt like it was dislocated or was broken or something. Now, me being who I am, I have an extremely high pain tolerance, so I was gonna actually just stay home and let the pain go away on its own. And I waited a few hours to see if the pain would subside. After a few hours, it did subside in the fact that it wasn't there all the time, but there was that initial really bad pain. The pain lasted for about a minute and then it went away, and then it came back and then it went away again. It kept coming back. Luckily, the times after the first time that it came back, it wasn't hurting as much. And after a few hours, the pain wasn't there constantly, but it was still there and it was still happening, so I decided to go to Emerge. Now, this isn't the first time that I've had trouble with this elbow, and the unfortunate thing is it's my right elbow, which is my dominant arm, which I use for everything, so it makes it really difficult to do things. As you can probably tell by my hair, it's quite messy because I'm having trouble brushing it. I'm not used to brushing my hair with my left hand. So I went to Emerge, and they did an x-ray. Luckily, nothing is broken, nothing's fractured. But they did give me a referral for physiotherapy. Now, for some reason, I don't know why, but for some reason I find the fact that I now have to go to physio a little bit funny. The reason why I find it a little bit funny is because I actually just stopped going to physio last month. It was for something else entirely, but I just find it funny how I stopped going and now I have to go back. One of the other reasons why I wanted to go to Emerge was because I actually have rheumatoid arthritis in both my mom and dad's side of the family. So I was kind of concerned that it might be that because the pain is right around the joint. And the doctor told me that if I want to get tested for rheumatoid, I have to get a blood test done through my family doctor, which I might actually do at some point, but I might hold off on it as well because I was actually tested for rheumatoid years back and it showed negative. But then again, at the same time, sometimes something like that isn't necessarily going to show up in the first blood test. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed and I'm praying that it's not rheumatoid. But in all honesty, I don't think it is, for the simple fact that it's only affecting one side of my body. Now, the other thing it could be too is an injury from when I was younger, because when I was about 13 or 14 years old, one day I was running to go meet the bus in the winter. The driveway was really icy and I slipped and fell and landed directly on my elbow, and it hurt so bad. Back then, for whatever reason, they never did an x-ray to find out what the issue was. But that's not the end of the story. This was one day, and then literally the very next day, guess what I did? I smashed the same elbow off a wall. Not intentionally. But what happened, this is going to sound really strange and unbelievable, but this is literally what happened. I remember I was at school and it was lunch hour or something, and I was at school in the bathroom with a group of my friends. One of my friends had gone into the stall to use the bathroom, and I was standing outside of the stall and I was standing up against the door. I didn't realize I was too close to the door. Anyway, my friend went to come out of the stall, so she came out of the stall of the bathroom, and in doing so, because I was standing so close to the door without realizing it, she smacked me with the door by accident and I went flying into the wall and smashed my elbow into it. The thing I find so bizarre about that is the fact that it was literally the same elbow and in the exact same spot 2 days in a row. And then once again, they didn't do any x-rays or anything to find out if I had a break or a fracture or whatever. So I'm hoping that whatever's going on is just an outstanding injury from when I was younger and not something more serious going on. I'll be honest, I'm a little bit scared. I'm a little bit scared because this is not the only joint in my body that does things like this. And this is not the first time the elbow's acted up. There's the 2 times I hit my elbow, and then I've had many different times throughout my life where I'll be sleeping and I'll wake up and my elbow is dislocated. And then I literally have to pop it back in place by myself, and I do. I'm not going to show you on this arm because that would really hurt. But basically what I do is I'll wake up and my arm's like this, and I go to straighten it and I'm like, ow. And I just go like this as hard as I can, and it smacks it right back into place. Now, it's probably not recommended to pop your own joints back into place, but I do it because they pop out on me frequently. And it's not only my elbow. I've had it happen with my wrist in the same arm. I can't remember if I've ever had it happen in my left arm, but I've definitely had it happen in my right arm. And I've definitely had it happen in my right knee as well. My kneecaps like to pop in and out of place. I had an experience once where I had to go to Emerge because my kneecap popped out of place and it wouldn't pop back in. And yes, I popped my own kneecaps back in place too. To do that, if you ever have to pop your kneecap back in place, what you do is you hold your leg out, put it up like this, push it forward, and then push it back as fast as you can until you hear a pop. So I made sure that when I was in with the doctor at Emerge, I mentioned all this to them. I'm surprised I remembered it all because I didn't bring a note or anything, but I remembered to tell them about the rheumatoid. I remembered to tell them about the fact that I have other joints that pop in and out of place. And I even asked the doctor, I said, have you ever heard of this happening to somebody where their joints just pop in and out of place on their own? And to my surprise, he actually said yes. And he said that, I forget exactly what he said, but he said there are disorders where that is what happens because your joints are really weak or something like that. Anyway, fingers crossed it's nothing serious, but if it is, I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. Now, another thing that happened was as soon as I was done at Emerge, I had to go call a cab because I don't drive. So I had to go call a cab. I was standing outside and I was walking as fast as I could back and forth in the parking lot because it was freezing out. Like, I was standing out there and I was shivering so much, and it was making me shiver so much that I swear if anybody had have seen me shivering like that, they would have sent me right back into Emerge thinking I was having a seizure or something, to be honest. I'm not even joking, like my whole body was going like this. I was so cold. And I was wearing a winter jacket, which is what I find bizarre. Like, I know it's expected for it to be cold in the winter, but that seemed to be way colder than usual. So the next thing I'm gonna do is, as soon as it's early enough for them to be open, I'm going to get a hold of the place that I was going to before for physio, and I'm going to book an appointment to go to physio for my elbow. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!